Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Warsaw, Poland for the Wargaming.net League Grand Finals. My name, of course, is Mitch Uber Leslie.
My name is Michał Blichasz.
And yesterday, day 2, what a massive day. The emotions were running high. It was so intense. These teams were going at it hammer and tongs, like we say back home. What a great day of play.
Fantastic day, and the big surprise and big upset was PvP Super Friends with Batman. The scenes of celebration, I've never seen anything like it.
No, it was incredible. But don't take our word for it, ladies and gentlemen. Let us have a look at a bit of a recap of day 2.
Well guys, as you can see right behind me, it's empty, but that's not a problem because we're about to get underway with day 2. It's going to get crazy in here with some hot and heavy World of Tanks action here at the Grand Finals.
We are going to play against Natus Vincere, one of the best, probably the best esports team in World of Tanks. We are champion, 3 times champion of the Russian Pro League, so it will be a really tough game for us.
All fights is important as well. We preparing a lot for this tournament. The Lemming Ring is not bad team, and we ready to win the game.
I think it will be one of the toughest matches in this tournament.
Our opponents were good. We expected something aggressive tactics from them, but we were good prepared.
So I'll start only in Polish. Dziękuję wszystkim za to, że tu byli. And for English guys, it's waste that you are not here. You can only be sad that we were not here. We are sad that we lose, but yesterday we showed the great games. Today we also showed some entertaining. So it's just great for everybody who was here and for eSport involved.
We didn't expect to go this far. We just came here with good vibes, and as you see, we show a lot of passion. When we're losing, I shout at my team, but they accept everything I say. That's why I have the best team here. I don't care if the Russians are better than us. As long as I'm giving everyone a good show, I'm very happy.
Right now, we just really feel pumped up that we won against a very big team like Fnatic. Yeah. We were actually really depressed at first. You saw the fight. Then we got it. We got it. We just pulled together and we won. We're very excited right now.
PvP Super Friends. Collectively dropping the jaw of World of Tanks esports with their play, coming back from 0-2 down against Fnatic to make it 3-2 comeback. It was incredible to watch.
It was absolutely insane, and as I said yesterday, how can you not cheer for those guys?
That's right, and we could see the crowd. It was no joke, ladies and gentlemen. The crowd was really into it. We'll hope to see the same today. Let's have a look at our schedule. Let's see where we are at in the grand scheme of things. Sunday is today, of course. We have our deciding matches and our grand final.
Only 4 teams left, and only the best games left today. Probably the most important games in World of Tanks history.
Definitely thus far. Let's check the brackets out today. Let us see which teams are going to be going head-to-head.
So, of course, this is a double elimination bracket. It's a best of 5 until the grand final, and the grand final is best of 7.
Exactly right. So we're going to be seeing Virtus.pro go up against Navi here in the winners bracket final on the main stage. And in the meantime, we'll be waiting, of course, to see PvP Super Friends take on Red Rush Unity. From there, we'll have to see who can advance, obviously, to the final. The loser of that winners bracket final is going to drop down and get another shot at the prize, I guess. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us not hold you up any longer. We're going to head over to our team of experts, headed up by Clutch, to break it down for us.
Thank you, gentlemen. Championship Sunday, the day we've all been waiting for, and the seats are full. People are still lining up outside, and we'll be holding down the analysis desk. I'm Joshua Clutch Gray, joined on the set by Wilkie from Free Fall and Mr. Mojo from the Kazna crew. To my right, to my left, I have Magus from TCM. Is going to be joining us today, and the very lovely Melly over on the social media headquarters. I'm sure a lot of people are throwing their predictions already on Twitter.
I think they were even awake before I was, and already started tweeting about this amazing event. And yeah, predictions going all way. Of course, PvP is the new community darling. They love them. The only thing I have to say is Batman, right? We saw yesterday team being so passionate about their win. It's just amazing. And yeah, head over to Twitter, get involved in the conversation by using the hashtag #TheGrandFinals, and let's hear what you guys at home think.
All right. I'm looking forward to more of the interaction. We've had a lot of fantastic response so far from everyone watching from around the world. But two teams now from Russia and the Ukraine. We have Navi up against Virtus.pro. Now these teams, Virtus.pro representing the EU region, even though a lot of the team members are from either Russia, Belarus, Ukraine for both these teams. And they're up against Navi, the powerhouse, the kings, sitting on that high throne right now in World of Tanks. Let's talk about Navi first, gentlemen. I have to say this is the tightest gameplay we've seen from all the teams, and they continue to impress, and they have to. That's why they're the best. Going down the line, Mr. Mojo, Navi, can anyone stop them?
If anyone can stop them of these teams, it will be Virtus. They are most constant team on Europe cluster. They met months ago on a Clash of Continents, and they had a tight battle, and they're the only ones that can stand to them, I think, now. And from what we've seen from this tournament and how they really play securely, Navi, it will be a tough challenge even for them.
So this could be pretty much the hardest fight for Navi throughout the tournament.
This will be, I guess, hardest fight we've seen in all 3 seasons.
Oh, well, it's definitely going to be the hardest fight for Virtus.pro.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, they practice a lot together because they're speaking the same language, they're from the same regions. And yeah, Navi also told us yesterday that they're really afraid to fight against Virtus.pro because in the training it's 50-50 who win. So it's really hard and tough game.
All right, well, let's take a look real quick at LaShaw, one of the star players that we've seen, looking at his current stats. Kill death ratio 3.26, damage per game 2.16, personal battles 32.5 thousand on one of his accounts. But Wilkie, I'll pass it over to you. What more can we say about Navi that hasn't been said, really, this tournament, that hasn't been pretty much planned for a lot of these teams when they know that they're going to go up against the best in World of Tanks?
Navi has been thought to be a bit more passive team, but they actually surprised with the aggressive strategy against Lemming Train yesterday in the Ensk when they pushed from the train tracks. So if they can take the cards from their sleeves and surprise Virtus.pro, they will have a hard time. But yeah, overall, this will be a really important match for both teams, as the winner of this match will carry one round to the finals.
Well, we had the chance to speak a little bit more to Navi. Let's take a look.
Atmosphere is high. We are very glad and exciting after this match and ready for tomorrow's fight.
I think we'll see some replays and we'll try to show tomorrow something new.
We crush them all.
That battle fury crushed them all, coming from Navi. All right, let's talk about Virtus.pro. Some people say this is the underdog team, but if you look at the rating, the matchup that they have, this is pretty much the rival,
no underdog,
the battle rival between the two. They can't really be underdogs. PvP Super Friends right now is the underdog for the entire tournament. A lot of people are going to be cheering for them. I know hashtag Team America is for the PvP underdogs. What is it about Virtus.pro, gentlemen, that makes them such a strong contender against Navi?
I believe they are kind of same school of play as Navi. The only difference is they were considered the second team while they were playing on the Russian cluster. I believe here they want to change that, and I believe that is their strongest motivation. They're undoubtedly best team that plays in EU cluster, but here they are to take the throne, so they will give everything they have, and if they fail...
And the reason they moved to the EU cluster was they got tired of being second place against Navi.
Could be.
Could be. Politics aside, it's still a fact. They're the #1 team in EU.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons that they switched the cluster, because they were always behind Navi and told to be the second team, and they want to be the first part, and also they think the European market was better for Virtus.pro itself, so they switch over. But yeah, it's always that they had a shadow from Navi in front of them, so they want to step out.
A big
and
shadow.
And want to show that we can beat them. And I think today's the day. They're really training hard and waiting long for this moment.
A lot of people are trying to see if anyone can work their way out of that shadow of Navi. And one of the members that we talked about yesterday was Kusak. But let's take a look at Vorsic, who's actually one of the youngest players in World of Tanks competition here for all these teams. And you look at his stats, the damage spread out, but the kill-death ratio 2.27. Personal battles, again, they have different accounts for Virtus.pro over there in their personal accounts. And people like to kind of snipe them sometimes in public games, and that's why you'll have multiple accounts for World of Tanks. But what is it about Vorsic? Is it the youth? Is it the fire that he brings to the team, or is it actually in the game that we see such great performance from
I
him?
believe young players have best reflexes. That is proven fact, and this is a shooter game. Also, they always have a teenager burning desire. If you point them the right direction, they are great workers, and they always have good ideas that maybe some even more skilled players will not have. It will seem crazy, but it can work.
And Virtus.pro has the good coach behind them, Diver, doing a really good job coaching these young guys, so they have the backup behind them.
Balance of experience and youth, best, always.
Yeah.
Well, the young at heart sometimes can keep going strong. Some of the older guys over here that have been involved in esports for a while, yes, well, I will agree with the reflexes, but when you have the strength of experience, it's really necessary, and that's why we see the roles of team managers, and that's why we see a lot of team managers here. But let's take a closer look at who is Virtus.pro.
It feels great to be in winners final, but we still have to win a couple of games to be really happy.
If they will let us use their mistake, sure we play aggressive. But we will not try to play aggressive from the beginning, because as I said before, the price of one mistake is going to losers bracket. We don't want to do it.
Of course, we think we can win because we are in winners final, but Navi and Red Rush Unity are still very strong teams, so it will be difficult for us.
Player doing this job.
That's right.
He knows everything.
He knows everything. Yep. Yeah, he does. We were conversing a little bit, ladies and gentlemen, about some of the highlighted players in that video. And Diver is the team manager right now. He used to be on the team, but that changed after season one.
After season one, after the finals, they lost against Synergy, and it was really close against my team in the semifinals. And then, yeah, they decided, okay, Diver, we need a new captain. You can do the management and stay with the team. We really like you into the team, but we need something new as shot caller. And yeah. to the decisions.
It's a tough decision to make, though, especially when you want to be in the thick of everything, especially on the battlefield, trying to make those calls.
But he is a professional, and he took it in positive way, and he boosted actually performance of his team. They were set and ready on Gamescom to revenge on Synergy, but Synergy was no show, as we know, and in third season, they made it finally happen.
And here we go with the map veto. That's Muppe as the head admin on the stage. I know Twitch chat's been going crazy to find out what his name is. It is Muppe. He is from Finland, the same country as Wilkie. And as a reminder, in case you're unfamiliar with the map veto system, there is a coin toss. The winner of the coin toss gets to choose... Oh, no more steps. The winner of the coin toss gets to choose the home or away position. Home team can eliminate the first map. The away team will veto the second map in this best of 5. The 2 maps that have just been vetoed are Steps and Cliff. We currently have a running here on the analysis desk. If we see Steps played, we all get some ice cream. And then we have the map choice. Home team gets to choose first map. Away team chooses the sides, the positions. Many teams favor the away position, the position to choose map sides. Why is that?
Because the map side is much more important, because not all maps are 110% equal on each side. So it's really important to choose a side. The map is not really important, you have to play it anyway, so you want to decide the side. And I think that's also one reason why Virtus.pro bans Cliff, because Na'Vi is really, really strong on Cliff. It's basically the best map for Na'Vi.
They're hardcore. They played it on the finals against Unity, and they're not sleeping there.
No. Yeah, at least Na'Vi played. Unity had no chance to play against them.
Unity was running around the map trying to do something, climb some hills for half an hour and so on, but it didn't happen.
Yeah. And Fisman Prokhorovka, I think also both teams going for more for the city maps and going for the individual shootout instead of the open maps.
Well, we saw the chaos pattern coming from PvP yesterday against Fnatic.
Yeah, Fnatic was awesome.
Batman is the storyline right now, ladies and gentlemen. We saw that yesterday. And we were able to speak to them last night a little bit, and they were so exhilarated from that win that they had yesterday. And they will have a very, very tough fight against Red Rush Unity. Here on the set, some people are saying 100% Red Rush Unity is going to win. I say, let's see what happens. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Ensk, the the fourth map here. Himmelsdorf will be number 3, and now the final 2 will either be Ruinberg, Mines. You're guessing Mines is the first map?
Yes, Mines will be the first map.
Wilkie?
I agree.
We've seen that a number of times here. Virtus.pro taking some notes on the positioning here in the lineup, which, you know, you have to know where you are in each game, not wait for Mines first. Nice call, nice call. Ruinberg will be second. I feel with Mines, this is a good map to set the pace through the entire series. The standard play that we've been seeing from teams in all regions has been the brawl mode in the center. We talked about how to counter that properly. Some teams have been trying to camp, not effectively at all in their positionings. The teams against that camp would use fantastic play, especially using eastern side play of pushing up against the flanks of those T-32s. There's a handshake, and now we're going to be ready for the teams here in just a little bit. But, gentlemen, let's talk about that. What options do teams have outside of brawling in the center?
Well, you can try to play the east play, but the good teams usually counter that by putting in their own tanks, either T1 or T90s to the island. Like we saw yesterday, Alien tried to push from the island, but Na'Vi already had their 2 T90s and T1 already spotting Alien and doing bad damage back to him. And that pretty much burned the whole strategy Lemming Train had for the map. So from these two teams, it will be really interesting to see how they're going to brawl in the middle, because that's not their usual strategy that they want to just clash on in the first minutes of the battle. So,
I think,
go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's all really important about the spawns, because normally the south team is a more passive team on mines, and the north team easily can get to the hill, climb up, and get the map control. And there's no way you can play this map without the control of the hill, because you can get shells from the island, or from the city side. And yeah, you have to take care of the hill all the time. And the south team, if they play aggressive on the hill, we see a brawl immediately. And if not, we will, I think, go to a more passive game style and waiting and testing how the enemy are playing. I mean, that's the top of the top. The best players against the best players. Every little mistake can be the last. So they have to be super carefully. And I think we will see a slow-paced game even on mines in the first round to just check how is the enemy today.
I was able to speak with some of our commentators in the multiple languages that we are broadcasting from, and I spoke with the commentators that head up the Russian stream. And they were saying that this is going to be the longest series probably today because of how both these teams address the game, how they approach the game with that slower play, with that longer tactical, trying to find mistakes in your opponent first rather than execute.
No blitz is going to happen here.
No, you're not looking at blitzes. I'm going to throw out there's going to be a blitz. I'm going to throw that out there. And I think Mines is one of the best maps to do it on, and I'm going to think Waterside's the best map to do it on. Gentlemen, if I'm wrong, that's fine because it's going to be something completely unorthodox from both these teams that we see. But because of the Global Grand Finals and because of teams that are bringing unorthodox play, Red Rush Unity, the match that we're going to see later on, I think that they may be a little bit scared of PvP because of this. If they had watched that series against Fnatic and tried to figure out what PvP was doing, it was a chaos storm sometimes.
Exactly. And Unity was struggling against the Asian teams before as well. They're losing rounds or drawing rounds because they had not the confidence against these teams because they don't know the tactics or can't study them before.
And you look at the history of Warfare, and if you stick to the same tactics all the time, you are completely predictable. That's how Napoleon was able to win so many battles when he started as a general. The generals that he went up against were so set in their ways of warfare that they thought what Napoleon was doing was brash, was crazy, was not going to work, and it worked every time.
I would say he was a perfect strategist, but a very crappy logistic manager.
Coming from Serbia, I know that sentiment. But the understanding of tactics and strategy in Warfare, in World of Tanks, is kind of one of the same a lot of times. You have 7 men, you have 7 vehicles, you have certain positioning, certain strategies, things that you want to set up in certain locations of the map, and that's the second half of the battle is map knowledge. If you could choose any map to have your best strategy on, you have to start to divide it up. Is it a city map? Is it an open map? Do we go for more of the slower, longer game with the heavier tanks like the IS-3s, or do we play the faster game with the 1390s, with the 5100s? And that's where the breakdown's going to happen in different regions. I'm seeing more of the faster play coming out of the Asian teams, and I feel if that is honed correctly, if that is executed correctly, that can counter some of these longer games from the Ukrainians, from the Europeans, and the Russians.
But as we see in with Asians, it goes both ways. They can easily suicide. Their experience is lacking.
Same for Fnatic, easily suicide on Ruinberg that we saw yesterday.
But Unity is a team that is used to actually play in loser bracket because they meet Navi every time sooner or later and they fall there. They will really take it seriously. I mean, they can take some matches in early stages lightly because they are like that. But they will play with PvP really serious and they will not allow Fnatic mistake.
We're waiting for final confirmation from the admins to make sure all the players are good to go. A lot of Navi, I don't know if they're signing autographs with the fans or what, but they just got up.
That was at least really a problem in the Golden League finals in Minsk and in Moscow. That so many people staying around the stage and wanting some signings from the Navi guys that the camera had no view onto the players because the crowd was so amazing and so much cheering for them. They're really like rock stars.
Yeah, it's first world Navi problems. All right, they're going for the huddle.
Yeah, you're right.
And we saw the huddle earlier from Virtus.pro. Navi, an organization that has been the top in multiple titles in esports for a number of years now. And esports for World of Tanks is no different. The regions that we see, the top teams, it gets lonely at the top. And I don't want to equate or put Fnatic in the same seat as Navi when it comes to skill, but positions in the region, there's a lot that we can learn from what we saw from Fnatic. When you're the top team all the time, you can stagnate. You can get so dependent upon the strategies that you bring that other teams are so focused. There's such a big bullseye on your back that they know exactly what you're going to bring every map if you stay the same. This is not the case with Navi. Because they're at the top, they have to stay one step ahead of the meta, of the strategies. I wonder what their practice schedule is like day by day to be inventive and also to study their opponents and how to counter
I think their strength is their mental composition. They're a team that didn't break up for all this time, years. If you play with someone for years, you must respect the player next to you, not only because he's your mate, but because of his skill. You get used to each other. You know what he'll do even before he does it. That is their real strength, and they're keeping up with everything current in meta. They're training with different teams. They have their sparring partners. Yeah, they're up there for a reason.
Yeah, and I mean they're flying together to holidays, doing some city trips together. So they're basically one family, big family, meeting really often each other. And I know from them before every offline event, they go for boot camp for 3 weeks, training 10 hours a day. So
for 3 weeks before
3 weeks.
every offline event.
Yes.
The last offline event we saw Na'Vi against Virtus.pro was the Continental Clash. What was that series like between the two?
I'm actually not sure, but it was a really close game. I think it was 3-2 in favor of Na'Vi, but Unity beat all other Russian teams. They were the only European team who at least beat 3 of the 4 Russian teams.
That is impressive.
Yeah.
Now, you had a personal clash with Na'Vi in Go for a Walk, correct?
Yeah,
that was pretty fast.
Quite short. We went for some really aggressive tactics on Ruinberg. We actually won on Tichy finals like in 2 minutes, but against them it backfired in 2 minutes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the stakes are high for both these teams, and it is my pleasure to throw it on over to the commentators.
Thank you so much, Clutch, and the analysis desk. What a phenomenal bit of depth we got given there, especially by Magus and Still Mojo. Everyone really giving a big insight towards what these two teams are now facing off against. And we were talking before, the preparation these guys are doing just leading to this moment is phenomenal.
They're doing multiple hours every single day.
Yep.
You heard Marcus talking about that 10-hour schedule that Na'Vi has. Obviously, Virtus.pro had that similar schedule. They did 7 days of boot camp in Moscow, 7-8 days where they played probably 10, 12, maybe more hours a day. So spending a lot of time getting their tactics down, and it is showing. And to be honest, this is the 2 best teams in the world right now. That's not dilly-dally at all. These are the best teams in the world. This is a best of 5. This is the semi-finals they'll be going through. Obviously, you want that winner's bracket win because then you are 1 round up. But, you know, this is going to be a tough game. I don't think it's going to be fast. No. It's not going to be messy because of the quality of these 2 teams. I think it's going to be a lot about the kind of tanks they're using, the counter picks, what guns they're using, the small guns, the big guns. But our first map is going to be Mines.
Yeah, and you were discussing a lot of how they were preparing with themselves, just talking to each other in the way certain members went together and they're discussing maybe what tanks they're running with. And has that been reflected in what you think we're going to see here in the tank choices, especially from Na'Vi, because it was about those 1390 possibilities and where they may be using them and where they may come into play. Is that being reflected just yet?
Well, we haven't seen Na'Vi play from the south yet on this map. They've taken the double T32, triple AMX 3090, double T1. And for Virtus.pro, they've gone for the interesting pick of that 416, the AMX 5100, double AMX 3090, double T1. So kind of a strange lineup from the side of Virtus.pro. It has actually worked before, and it is kind of a new meta on this map because that 416 has got so much damage. And it's also pretty quick.
So, welcome to the first map. It will be Mines in the north in blue. It's Virtus.pro in the south in red. It is Na'Vi. So, a lot on the line here. As you said, even just the advantage of going through to the winners final with that upper bracket 1 set kind of in the back pocket. That's what they're really playing for here. And obviously, bragging rights is a lot to do with that. As we said, you know, Virtus.pro constantly in the shadows of Na'Vi. And it's, you know, it's a big shadow to be in. This is their time to prove it, and already Brainex's taking a little bit of damage. Yeah,
first shot's come out. I believe that's from an AMX 3090 across the map. But you can already see innovation from the side of Na'Vi in the form of Lev shot and Power Slide with those 2 T32s kind of sitting back in the base and just trying to peek over that hill and make the shots, obviously pushing each other. Breakneck letting a volley fly across the map, trying to land one to Strake. Strake will be reloading, and these teams are going to be doing this back and forth for quite some time, I imagine. There's not going to be any stupid moves, but for Virtus.pro, at least, this is the standard push on the hill with the double AMX 3090s. When they're safe, they can put the T69 up there a little later. They got Delight in the perfect position for that tank, almost a similar position the tank is used on in, obviously, Cliff. Sitting back, got the high ground, got the bush. He can make the shots and just retreat easily behind some rocks. It is a great position on this map, especially after those changes. For Na'Vi, very subdued, staying back. They did not even challenge for that hill. They just want those T32s back, keeping the flank safe for those AMX 3090s. Obviously, you know, because they have got that lump of HP with the T32s, they kind of attract all the other tanks. So the AMX 3090s got 3 of them. They can just close on the T32s. They can make a move. And we saw, interestingly enough, you know, at the beginning, Kiri Lloyd and Strake talking to Dulux, the team captain, and obviously the way they're sitting Dulux really wants those two to play together. I think anyway, that's why they were talking and making sure they have the tactics down and the general feel of the map down.
Yeah, and as you know, in the interview said, Virtus.pro are not looking to be immediately aggressive. They will wait and try and find a mistake. And in this game, it takes a lot of time to find these small errors these players may be making. And if you're trying to find one with Na'Vi, you might be struggling. These guys, as we saw yesterday, are just disgracefully good at this game. They are so clinical about it. It's unbearable to watch. You are seeing a couple of shots coming back and forth, but still, the only connecting one did land on Breakneck earlier. Powerslide and Levshah are happy just sitting back, toying with these guys. Breakneck can have as many shots as he wants. They're not going to be landing too easy, but Powerslide did get a little bit of damage done to him, so has to be careful. A constant reminder, Virtus.pro cannot be taken lightly, and I don't think Na'Vi will be. And I think the biggest thing we were talking about was the preparation these two have been doing, and I can imagine these guys know so much about the opponents. When I was talking to Carmen from Lemming Train, even he said it felt like they knew exactly what we were doing, and they're immediately in your head, the Na'Vi side. And Virtus.pro can do just the same, but Na'Vi always seem to have this upper hand. We're actually seeing a bit of a change from the team from the south.
Yeah, they're rotating those T-32s up towards the hill. That's obviously the second logical position to put it on. It looked like it was more triggered by a time than anything else. They're just going to push up. They got Dulux there in their tier 1 to go first. He's going to be proxy spotting with that 50-meter rule, but also you can see on your mini-map Virtus.pro now on the rotate with his AMX 1390s. And you know what I think is very clever from Virtus.pro? They've only taken one T69. It has done the damage because it's hit those T32s, but this is blind picks. And one T69 is perfect because you got the burst damage. If you take more, then you're really going to struggle to penetrate those T32s. It's going to be like a 50% bounce rate. It doesn't matter where you hit it from the front. So good picks by Virtus.pro. I think they got the better lineup here for that reason against this Na'Vi side.
Yeah, and it's a curious pick as well. These are two fairly unconventional ones we don't see on a regular basis. This is something it's got a little bit of flavor to it, really. It's a little bit of unique personality. Obviously, the 416 in play. You got Bishop there, and you do see a big bit of a move coming out from Virtus.pro. They're actually starting to mobilize and maybe adapt a little bit more. What do you think this is about? Did they assume that maybe Na'Vi would push up?
This is completely next level stuff. This is really top stuff. They are going to push.
They are, and Kirill could be in trouble. He's now got 3 players hunting him down. Delight, Vorsic, and Just Cause. Strake and Inspire are trying to come across to provide some fire, but here comes Breakneck. Lovely connecting shot again, and now Kirill is in trouble. Second one, he does get an ammo rack, I believe, damaged. Then you can see Kirill on the screen. He's gonna have to step up. 74% victory rate. That guy is a monster, but right now Vorsic, Just Cause, and Delight hunting him down, but there's that crossfire. Just Cause does get caught, down to 542. They've got to make this count. Kirill is going low. They've got to take him down. 125 HP. He's got cover. Now they're finding the rest. Bishop may be swarmed anytime now. He's had to back away, and the vast amount of this map is now just dominated by Na'Vi, but it's dribs and drabs, and there we have it. Finally, Kirill will go down. The hunting squad of Virtus.pro do pick up the first kill.
A lot of damage done to the side of Virtus.pro. That's the big question, but the damage has also been done to Na'Vi. Obviously, Kirill going down, that's a lot of damage out of the equation for them. Has a bit of HP, a little bit of tactical maneuverability as well, but what's quite nice about Na'Vi is they're reacting straight away. They got the middle ground with the 2 T32s, which are going to be very, very hard to unroot. Obviously, you got the AMX 5100 still up that hill, who's going to be provided so much damage, but he has to make sure he doesn't waste those shells on Dulux and Eclipse in those TT1s, because that will only leave him with 4 shells, well, even less if he's made a couple of shells towards those 5100s already. And honestly, Virtus.pro just need to make sure they don't lose too much more HP, but it doesn't seem like they can.
Yeah, Just Cause, 85 HP, Vorsic, 75. There goes Just Cause. Vorsic now looks like a bit of a vulnerable target, but as does Breakneck, as does Delight. And Na'Vi, yes, they lost a player. Yes, Strake is low, but they're still looking so damn dangerous in this. And as you said, the positions have changed. Inspire does receive a shell, so there's a reply, but Vorsic is in trouble. Powerslide is eyeing him up, and there's the shot coming through. But Bishop did reply, but it's only on a tier 1. And now just 3 tanks remaining. Virtus.pro, they're in trouble.
Very good counterplay from Na'Vi, pushing around, knowing that they can do a lot of damage. Yes, Virtus.pro got that initial entry kill on the AMX 1390, Kiriloi going down there, but they knew they had the better positions. They could push around with Inspire, a brilliant MX 1390 player. I think the best player from yesterday for Na'Vi, despite what I've been saying. And they could push around, they could do so much damage, they could take out the rest of them. Straight took a bit of damage, and also has Levwa.
Indeed, Levshun down to 711 HP, so that they did go low, and we are seeing more shells coming in. Spira getting caught out there. Oh, he cannot back away in time. Beautifully played then from the opponent. So 3v2, Strake, Power Slide, and Levshun still alive up against Bishop and Breakneck, but the reloads, they're coming in.
Let's break this down a little bit. Strake, 289. That's a one-shot for Bishop with that SA-47. 300 average damage on that. That's pretty easy to take down. He's probably going to hit that, and he's probably going to take the tank out. Levshun has, say, a 3-shot left on him. Power Slide, a 4-shot. So Breakneck, it's really on him, and he could take it.
Yeah, but that big chunk of damage coming out of Power Slide towards him is not going to help. It was almost even on HP added together. Breakneck now is down to 592, so looking a little bit more vulnerable. Bishop has to get into the straight, lands another shell. Beautiful play. Oh, just about coming back. So Bishop needs to be careful. He's trying to do something. He's trying to work this one out. Levshun waiting on the hill. There's so many members not too far away. Breakneck is trying to get into this. Power Slide's moving forward. Oh, Breakneck's gone down, snapped in half by the opponents, and now Bishop left in a 1v3. Can he get the shots towards Power Slide? 3 shells remaining here. Power Slide does not land the shot back. It's going so close. Oh, missing a vital shot there. And Strike now coming round on the flank. Could catch him out when Rio's available. He's been tracked. He's held in place. He misses again. This is huge. Bishop has just about thrown this away, and Strike is literally seconds away from reload here. Strike going around the back. Bishop wounded, surrounded, and Na'Vi look hungry to pounce. Bishop has no options left. Picking out from every single side. There he goes, and Na'Vi pick up the first map.
Unbelievable how Power Slide outplayed Bishop then. You could see the inexperienced play just couldn't handle that pressure. Power Slide in the perfect position to retreat. He got the shells off. I mean, how do you track with that gun at such a range? It's an incredibly inaccurate gun. He tracks him perfectly. It means he could retreat, he could go forward, he could retreat, and Bishop missed every single shell, and it was the right move. If he had taken down that T-32,
it could have been impossible.
Would be a one-shot.
And he wasn't on reload either, Strake. He was vulnerable then.
Yeah, he was 100% vulnerable. He would have almost certainly gone down. And then once that one has gone down, it was only Power Slide, even Levshun in that T-32 left. He had taken a little bit of damage. He could have easily been destroyed because of that 5100's mobility across that soft ground. He would have just been able to run away, get those 6 shells reloaded, and just finish off Levshun. So that game was so unbelievably close, and it was so next level in terms of the meta these two guys are playing it. I thought a much more passive game would happen, but indeed, Virtus.pro making that first move a little bit badly executed because of the way they tried to retreat, not expecting the T-32s to hit those shots.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you feel it was a little short-sighted? They gave up, the initial control in the center of the map on the hill. They weren't exactly in their faces, but they allowed Na'Vi to push in, get that T-32 in position, as you mentioned. And then, once they'd pushed up, they pushed around to the islands, over the lighthouse. They'd got a good couple of shells down. They were chasing down Kirill, I believe it was initially. They got him down, but then they can't retreat without having to be seen by, the T-32 that's now just waiting perfectly in position. Was that a little short-sighted maybe from Virtus.pro there?
They had to try something. They could not sit there for any extended period of time because of the AMX 1390's reload, and also the amount of damage that they do when they are caught into bad situations. Inspire had full HP. He could push around and finish those tanks off. So all in all, solid play by Na'Vi. I've got to give the props to Virtus.pro because they did make that first move, and I think it takes a lot of balls to make the first move against Natus Vincere. And honestly, Virtus.pro are not going to be disheartened by that loss. They can move on to our next map, and they can make sure that they get all the T's and all the I's dotted and crossed, and make sure that they don't lose any heart, they don't lose any soul, and they do what they've been practicing for the last 2, 3, 4 weeks, months.
See, but I want to point out here, Virtus.pro, they are not an aggressive team. That was probably the most aggression I've seen from them in a long time. Because, okay, if you sit back and you let, Na'Vi do what they want, you're going to lose. But, okay, they go a bit aggressive, they get caught out, they get punished. The losing factor, I believe, at the end of the day, there was a possible situation and they just got outplayed on skill then. In that 1v3, it could have changed around either way. Fair enough, that's what it comes down to. But I really hope they don't read into this of, we went too aggressive, we did mistakes here and there. I hope that they play this smart game again, that they don't just go, okay, we need to turtle down here. I just don't want them to kind of back away and give this one to the opponents just from that one first match, because next map will be Ruinberg, so it can be played defensively. There is a possibility that you can see teams backing away, turtling down. We saw it yesterday it's not like it's impossible. And I'm worried the Virtus.pro may let this get to them. They may get to that stage where it becomes a mental game, because it's hard to keep your composure against the likes of Na'Vi.
It's almost impossible, you know. The fact that they can actually play such a good game has already proved that they're a team that is in a league of their own in terms of being able to, you know, really make some troubles for Na'Vi. As you were mentioning, Fnatic and Lemming Train losing that heart after a couple of losses and just going downhill very quickly. You know, Nagatron was having a little chat at breakfast, and he was saying, you know, the mistakes they made on Cliff just put them on the back foot, and, you know, in terms of their mental ability and just their ability to play some good tanks. And honestly, that's where he said they lost the game. It wasn't necessary in Ruinberg, despite the fact that that is the oldest camp in the book and they should have broken it. But it was really on that second map, Cliff. So good stuff all around. It's been a fantastic few games, and Virtus.pro, you can see the concentration on their face. Bishop there on the left of your screen was playing the AMX 5100. The newest addition to the team has been playing pretty well. You could see the inexperience then as he came under pressure in that previous game. You know, you got a question if, you know, Amelka, who was the guy who was playing, who was the guy who was in the roster beforehand, if getting rid of him was a good idea, or maybe he had some commitments to make. We just don't know anymore. And I think experience means a lot in those situations, because once you've done it once, you can do it again, because you know what it takes to make that decision and to make those calls. Yeah, and it's trial by fire, really. What bigger moment to prove yourself? And it would have been phenomenal. It would be in the next moment towards what we saw from the likes of Alien before, with you know, Lemming Train then pulling off a 1v3 against Na'Vi. That's what you dream of doing, and it certainly is possible. He's a talented player. The situation was right, but to actually do it, you know, there's a reason those moments don't happen often. It's hard damn work. So we will be moving to the next map in just a moment. It will be Ruinberg. We've seen it stump a lot of teams out there. These guys have been struggling through this map, but these two are veterans, absolutely phenomenal beasts at this game. So if anyone can prove how good this map can be played, it will be Na'Vi and Virtus.pro. So I believe Na'Vi will be starting in the south. Virtus.pro will be starting in the north in blue. And remember, Na'Vi still have the advantage. You can see them on your screens there. Cool, calm, collected for now. But I can imagine when the heat starts being applied, there's going to be a little bit more going on. So why don't you take us through what we're seeing from these tank picks so far? So we got the triple 5100 from both these two sides. You've got the T69 AMX 3090 for Virtus.pro. Obviously, those two T1s are a given, and the double AMX 3090 double T1 for the side of Na'Vi. This is actually Virtus.pro's favorite side. They always do better than any other team I've really seen. That's Na'Vi included in that equation. On the northern side of Ruinberg, they're such a fantastic team. That T69 is there just to provide the burst along with Just Cause's AMX 3090, and they're going to go straight down the middle. Strake's going to be there. Interesting enough, Unity and Na'Vi are doing pretty much the same tactic, pushing their 5100s into the city area and just going straight on the rotate towards the cap. Yeah, and I think I want to point out here is the fact that Na'Vi actually had the choice of side as well. So we're already seeing a little bit of damage coming towards Kirill. He was the first targeted player in the previous map, and this is a very decisive push actually coming out from Na'Vi. It's extremely aggressive and maybe a little bit short-sighted, or just a gamble on their part, because we've seen it so many times before, and leaving Strake there on his own is a risky move, especially against that T69. Yeah, but if he plays this right and he plays it calm, he can get these crossing shots, but the cap is already underway. Inspire just plowing through. The rest of the power behind Na'Vi will be arriving momentarily with Levshar, Powerside, and Kirill. But here comes Bishop, here comes Delight, and here comes O'Shell. Strake is going low. He's down to 6-1-2. 3-8-1. He's going to be taken down momentarily. He's got to be so careful. The cap is beginning. It's underway. Na'Vi are going aggressive. This is not what you expect. Just Cause is desperately looking for a shot towards Strake here. He's going to find he doesn't get the shell connecting perfectly, though. But can he follow up? No, he just misses the shell. He must get this guy down. There we go. Just Cause claims it. But back to that cap. 12 seconds. Reset to 16. Breaknet moving in. Bishop has to keep landing these. But look at this stack from Na'Vi. Player behind player behind player. One goes down. But not before Vorsi gets a face full of damage. He's been removed. This is an unbelievable game between the two. Na'Vi and Virtus.pro going aggressive. But here comes Breakneck. Levshar is down. He's looking for more. Can he find it? 15 seconds on that board. 3 shells.
One's been blown. It doesn't land properly. Can he get any more shells connecting? He's resetting this. Just Cause now plowing in. These guys are going absolutely wild here. 7 seconds left. Another tank down. Power Slide and Inspirer still alive. Eclipse still alive. Counter cap has begun as well. Let's keep this in mind. That clock is not looking good. And Power Slide is all alone here. Inspirer and Bishop exchanging. Inspirer's won, but it's still a 2v2 essentially.
Breakneck is on reload as well. Just Cause has got on shell left. Power Slide on the charge.
He must avoid this shell. He's not going to make it away. That cap surely will be enough here. Inspirer, the last man alive. 1v3. 2 shells left. Cap underway. Just Cause is there. 1 shell blown. Breakneck not being damaged. There's the second. It connects, but he gets away alive. But 1 minute left to save this map for Na'Vi.
Inspire, about 30 seconds left on the reload. Obviously, that cap still down. Just Cause, Breakneck, Hot Pursuit, and there's AMX 3090, T69. Just Cause on reload. It could be a while before we see an engagement. And honestly, Inspire is in trouble.
Yeah, he has got a man who is hungry for bled, hot on his heels. Reload in just a second now. Inspirer is up and damage. He's down, ladies and gentlemen, and we have it all tied up, all even. Virtus.pro picking up the second map. And can you believe that gameplay? Na'Vi going crazy. Virtus.pro going aggressive. This is what we wanted from this game, and we are getting a stunning display.
That was the most it's the biggest gamble I've ever seen Na'Vi play in their history. This is a tactic that was used when Eurosteel 2012 was on, when this was the only map played. You just throw all your tanks into the cap, you surround the T1s, you surround a tank with your bigger tanks, and you just hope to God the other team's out of position. Straight there is bait, so at least a couple of tanks, or maybe 1 or 2 tanks will have to get back. Yeah. Thing is, Strake was actually outplayed there by 4-6, so he didn't actually make that distraction. That allowed Breakneck and the T69 just to rotate back around, push in, and then the AMX 3090 could easily go around at the same time and take the final blows needed to take those 2 T1s down. From there onwards, it was pretty much a set game for Virtus.pro. They just need to take Power Slide. He was trying to charge away around the corner, get down the F-road. Honestly, he couldn't Just Cause. Look how much damage that man does in the T69. Jesus. And that's really the best thing for Virtus.pro. Well. Exactly, 4 kills and damage. That is what you want from a man of that quality. T69, great pick up there from Virtus.pro. The MX 3090, not a good choice for Na'Vi, not really pulling its weight at all. No. So next map, Himmelsdorf, 1 apiece.
And I do want to look back towards that positioning going from Strake there. I feel as though he was almost in a position where he could have landed so many shots on the cross. When they knew where the opponents were going, as you said. If the likes of Virtus.pro get their favored side choice, they generally play this strategy. We know that about them. Clearly, Na'Vi should know that as well. I can imagine they do. Now, if he played that one kind of cautiously, maybe in a different tank, that 1390, as you said, maybe not the best choice. If he'd let them cross across to try and stop that cap, would he been in a position where he could have done more damage, or is this just theoretical? And obviously, hindsight is 2020. But could that been changed up by Na'Vi to maybe give them a better result? Because it felt as though they rushed that one a little bit too much.
Yeah, I think you've said it. Hindsight is 2020. But Na'Vi rushing that one across was the obvious downfall, but it was a worthy move because we've seen it before. All those tanks in the city, what's the point? Because they don't have the higher ground. The team that controls the village has the ability to cross the map quicker. It can just drive straight across the green side. It's got those bushes. It's got the cover from the village. You can cover your cap. So if you're going to go into the city, you're not going to contest for that middle road. Then you've really got to pull something out, which is either a camp or a clutch moment, or a cap race, which it just came down to. And obviously, they went for the latter. Didn't end up working for them. They would have really needed some miracle from Strake, really, to pull that one through. But Virtus.pro, they looked pretty cool with that. They weren't, ecstatic. They weren't jumping out the seats with all sorts of Batman paraphernalia or anything like that. They're the models of consistency and just no emotion. They've been here before. They've done it before. They just need to continue going forward to making sure they get those results.
You say model of consistency. When was the last time you saw Virtus.pro making the first move on a map that we had first of all? They're normally the most, test the waters, play it calm, play it collected. They're clearly emotionally invested in this game. They want to beat Na'Vi. It's as simple as that. These guys look so up for it, even though the first map didn't pay off for them. You know, the first map, sadly, it didn't quite work for them in that aspect. The second map, they stomped it. But Virtus.pro, you know, this is the first time I've seen their gameplay reflect how much they want this. So guys, let's get ready for Himmelsdorf, the third map. Currently, we're tied up all even at 1 point to 1 point. One victory for one for the other. Both teams doing what they can. And well, what can we expect from this one?
I think spawns are very important on Himmelsdorf. If either of these two teams get the good spawn, they might actually go up for that F-road, up the banana line even. And it'll be Virtus.pro starting from the south and Na'Vi starting from the north. I think Na'Vi plays better from the north. Personally, they love that 5100 play from the northern side. Virtus.pro, they love that push up the banana line, but this is Na'Vi's pick, so it could be really a special tactic coming from that team, and they need it, to be honest, because Virtus.pro have got the momentum back in their ball, back in their court even, and if they don't be careful, they're just going to roll over Na'Vi and they're going to break them down very quickly, because Na'Vi is not a team that's used to losing. So when they do start losing, it can be a very slippery slope for them.
And it's the same for any giant of any game. As soon as they start losing these games, as you mentioned it, the motivation can really take some big hits and they start this kind of blame game. But what are we seeing initially from these guys that may differ from other strats, or is this what we expected to see?
The only difference is that Breakneck in the IS3 sitting back there and looking up the looking through the buildings. You can see Kusok's in the middle. Ooh. That standard is already taking a little bit of damage. Obviously, that's the side of the turret being exposed. That's Inspire making the shots. A couple of tanks up towards the hill. An AMX 5100 looking after the 8 line, or IS3 are looking after the 8 line. 5100 on the left, that's J1. And for Na'Vi, they want to be making sure they keep the pressure on. Kusok receives another shell. I'm not a massive fan of Kusok from this side. Na'Vi really know how to break down teams when it comes to the real kind of, I don't know, window play, I guess you could call it. Because what Inspire does is he distracts Kusok, and then Lebwer and Strake and Power Slide can make the shot against the distracted tank because it's got its turret turned.
It's just, I feel as well, because they're so cohesive with each other. You know, as was mentioned in, you know, on the analysis desk, when you've played with someone that long, you know exactly what they're going to do. Maybe sometimes before they know it as well. We are watching Just Cause and I believe Bishop there actually taking that hill and getting into position. But as mentioned, you know what your teammates are doing, and that's when you get that pure, phenomenal synergy that you don't need to necessarily strat every single thing that can be anti-stratted. You can just play together and know that if I make this move, I know he's going to get my back from the one vulnerable spot I'm in. And that is what happens when you play this game so much. You just learn how to play it on a top-tier level. Now, has there been much movement here? Because it seems like this is a very tentative map. Both kind of going back and forth, looking for that window of opportunity, not really finding one just yet.
See what you did there with windows, since they are all looking through windows. But Breakneck is trying to make the shot onto Strake and Inspirer. And I guess the interesting thing for Virtus.pro is that they lost a fair amount of HP on the IS3. Well, only 2 shots, but it's still fair enough. Vorsic does take first blood. That's Dulux, the team captain, and Na'Vi going down. But it would be kind of stupid for Na'Vi not to make the move, because they have done a fair amount of damage to Kusok. Breakneck trying to land another shell, just taking down some cover, so when they do get the cross shots on, they'll be able to not hit the walls, which doesn't make that much of a difference anymore, but penetration does get reduced when you shoot through walls. Rotation now coming off the hill for Virtus.pro. They already have that sixth sense that Na'Vi's on the move, which indeed they are.
Yeah, and it's going to be 3 big tanks waiting though. Kusok obviously the weaker member here, Breakneck and Delight waiting in this back point. I'm not sure what they're going to do here, because they are outnumbered. If Power Slide pushes forward with Strake, Inspire, and Abshar, they might be in trouble. But at the moment, what do you think what is the point of doing this? Are they just trying to test out where these guys are and maybe get a good couple of shots?
Yeah, they got to try and get the damage. This is actually a completely standard Himmelsdorf play for Na'Vi. This is like your one-on-one Himmelsdorf. They got the 2 IS3s down the 2-3 line. They're going to send that F5100 around and come from behind, take down Kusok if they can. That's the standard stuff. Virtus.pro know that, so they got this. Well, they got at least one 5100 rotating off the hill. Delight's up in the corner to make sure that they can't actually flank from the other side at the same time. So good play from Virtus.pro. Na'Vi know it, and they're retreating.
So let's break this down as to what happened then. So as you mentioned, 2-3 lines started to get a little bit of pressure from Na'Vi. Virtus.pro notice it. They rotate the likes of Just Cause away from that hill, leaving just one tier 1 up there. And that's kind of put it back to this position. There was no commitment from Na'Vi. They didn't go in. They didn't land too many shots. But where does this now put them? Where is the weak point they wanted to exploit from Virtus.pro?
The weak point was just the test. It was Kusok. You could see the kind of magnetic force as Na'Vi go towards a tank that hasn't got much HP and could be a little bit exposed. But that was quickly plugged by Virtus.pro. Creed's now pushing up. Eclipse in the perfect position to deal with that. And it's very interesting to see the meta of Himmelsdorf hasn't been broken yet by these two teams like it has been on Mines, and perhaps Ruinberg a little bit, going back quite a while, back to an old map. But Creed's going to try and get the 50-meter rule. If he can proxy spot something for the T1 on the hill, maybe they can go for that cap. And you got to remember that Dulux is down for the side of Na'Vi, so if it does come down to a cap race, as long as Virtus.pro keep two of those T1s alive, they're going to be able to win that one. A very important point, because often, you know, I think 40-50% of the games are won on capping.
I was going to point out as well, Virtus.pro are not exactly against it on this map especially. I remember them against Synergy time and time again on Himmelsdorf, having this beautiful back and forth battle with these guys, and then it being defined by that cap race. And keeping the line of Bishops and Karitz up and standing is a huge factor here. But Karitz is getting into a bit of a dangerous position, but if he gets these spots, as you mentioned, could make a world of difference. And these guys, it's just this mind game going through right now. Karitz could be in trouble. That's a lovely little spot. He could get the attention, or at least these spots out. Is he close enough for this?
He's going to be close enough if they push. He's in that position where if they know exactly what they're going to do, if they push the 2-3 line, they know exactly where they're going to be going, they know exactly how fast they're going to be going. So that's what is really the crucial section for the side of Virtus.pro. Breakneck now on the rotation. Virtus.pro actually on the rotation as a whole. Vorsic, Just Cause, Breakneck, Kusok all charging to middle. Obviously Kusok in the IS3 with a low HP. It's going to be sitting back. The other tank is going to go forwards. They have the HP, but Creed's doing such a fantastic job as a team captain, knowing where Na'Vi is, making sure they have all the kind of crossfires, all the line of sights just completely planted, and make sure that Na'Vi is not doing anything unusual, which they're not. They're just sitting up in that 1-2-3, 1-2-3-4-5 line, which is a standard tactic from the north of Himmelsdorf. We've seen teams win with it a load of times before. So next move will have to be from Bishop from the right side in that T1.
Yeah, and this looks like Virtus.pro bullying Na'Vi into a corner here. You know, the positional advantages gifted to them by Karitz has been phenomenal. This man has been playing very well. People ask so many questions about why tier 1s are important. This man is showing you why. And right now, he's reaping the benefits. Another tank will go down. That is the other tier 1 eliminated. Kusok picking out the man who's down to just 662 HP. So both the eyes and the ears and so many possibilities are now removed away from Na'Vi. They're just down to a flat-out exchange. And I can imagine this might be a turtle down moment for them.
And what was interesting is Kusok wasn't even spotted, so he could have actually made that shot kind of just a little bit into the square, not all the way back. So that allows Creed to go forwards. He's going to try and get that 50-meter proxy rule onto left shot if he can, which won't happen because 100 meters away. That's Bishop coming in from the top. He's going to be trying to spot direct line of sight onto left shot so they can know they can know where Na'Vi is, so they can put the classic 2 T1s in the cap, send the 5100 and the I3 around to make sure that they're providing real firepower and armor, and then just go for that cap race, because that's exactly what they can do without Dulux and Eclipse to worry about.
Yeah, and they are starting to push up a little bit towards the opponents here. You can see almost the Mexican standoff. Just Cause, Vorsic and Breakneck not far away from Strake, Inspire, Kirill, and Powerslide. Shah holding the rotate, holding the back. Kusok is now coming around, and just that big HP damage towards Kusok could come into effect here. Powerslide also low, but this is going to be a huge engagement.
It has to be a huge engagement, and it has to be absolutely perfect. It has to be nailed by the side of Virtus.pro, and you can see the shots are going to come out. And no damage done, just a bit of blind shooting. Delight has to be a very pivotal player, and he's going to pull out those clutch moments if he can. But Virtus.pro starting to just go around. Karitz, Bishop going for the cap.
Yeah, they've now just split their attention. Communication then would be all over the place, but they've walked into the trap. Virtus.pro now are being hammered down. Kirill unloading every shot towards these guys. Just Cause is low. Just Cause gets held back. Vorsic's in trouble. He's going to have to get out of it. Oh, we're seeing these guys full life fly straight. Decimates Just Cause. Vorsic is so damn low, it's near on impossible. Breakneck's low, Kusok's low, Delight's low. Only Bishop has maintained any sort of HP and is a tier 1. Lufshan does get a shell back, and they're kind of chipped away. Big engagement. Kusok just about staying alive there again. He's got to be careful. Lufshan is looking for a possibility. Strike and Inspirer still have to be careful here as well. both low, so tense. This is an unbelievable moment for these two.
Ooh, Breakneck didn't actually get the track then. Powerslide, a little bit of a mistake. He should have gone for the track. Then he would have been able to take him down as he had the shells. Delight on reload. This is the important play. Delight has to be the clutch maker. Shots go.
Yeah, Powerslide does find Breakneck there, and that might be the breaking point of Virtus.pro's. Now Vorsic is in trouble. Delight as well. If Shah finds Kusok, they are now just being destroyed. Na'Vi find their execution. Delight tries to adapt, tries to rotate, tries to hide, but he's got the entirety of Na'Vi coming through. Powerslide with a great shot there coming in. And now the last two alive, Bishop and Vorsic. 40 seconds left. Can they hold off the Wolves at the door here? And at the moment, they're going to desperately try to. If they can keep Bishop alive somewhere, they've got a chance of drawing this one out. But still, that's a lot of players looking for them.
Ooh, Vorsic almost just got away with that. Can he actually get into cover before he gets a crossfire? Indeed, he does.
Indeed, 20 seconds left. 20 seconds is the limit here. And look at Inspirer. He's coming through. He's hunting them down. The clock is on. Can he get these spots out? Can he know where they are? Nothing's lighting up. Inspirer does get spotted. He knows there's someone around him. But can he do this in time? 7 seconds left. Bishop is still alive. Strike didn't land the shot. Vorsic does go down. Where's Bishop? Bishop can still stay alive in 1 second left. He's just about done it. He stayed alive. He drew this out for the two teams. That was unbelievable play.
Bishop doing
His
exactly
hands
what Snit did.
must have been shaking. Absolutely.
You know,
wow.
It's just unbelievable because the T1s, right, winning, drawing, doesn't matter on Himmelsdorf. You know, you go for that cap, you get the cross sight, you get the line of sights, you get the information, and then you draw the map out because of the positional. That's Bishop making up for the mistakes he made on mines and really pulling out not the win, but the point at least for the team, allowing them to go into the next round, not allowing Na'Vi a single break. And Virtus.pro once again looking dangerous going forwards. A little bit of a bad execution on their part. I think a double 5100 where Delight would have been a lot more effective. Send the IS-3s up towards where they were. Try and get them into that kind of housing area so you can shoot through and not take too much damage to yourself. But you know, you might not do so much damage to the other team, but you're keeping that pressure on.
And by the end of that game, it was a matter of seconds between win and loss then. Bishop was surrounded by so many of Na'Vi. They knew where he was at the end. And I'm not sure, but I do want to watch this back. I'm not sure if Strike actually missed a shot towards him or if it was just a blind shot that luckily didn't hit. Because it was very, very close. No matter which way you look at it, it was unbearably close. So Na'Vi being tested. I think we all expected this maybe to go a little bit easier. You know, overall, we are tied up here. This is the best game we've had, in my eyes, tactically to this point. Both teams truly testing each other. And I'm looking at the next map. I think it's going to be Ensk, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't know what to make of Ensk. Ensk could be an issue here.
Yeah, it's actually going to be picked up by Virtus.pro. So
yeah,
Na'Vi will have side choice. I'm not a massive fan of Na'Vi on Ensk. Marcus mentioned it yesterday. A little bit weak on that map. They struggle against Unity in those season finals. And I think they're going to struggle certainly a little bit more against Virtus.pro, a better team than Unity in terms of results and perhaps in the player skill as well. Although, you know, UT has got a lot of pub stars, Virtus.pro have the pub stars and also that tactical effectiveness and synergy to go along with it. So Ensk going to be a lot slower. I think we've seen a couple of faster maps. As we move into the fourth map, I think we're going to see things slow down. Maybe that green side is going to be used. Maybe the left side towards the city is going to be used. But either way, I think if a win does happen, it's going to be around that 1-2 minute mark.
Yeah, indeed. But then again, I thought this would be a really passive show between both of these. You know, each team winning one game, then the draw. So now we need to find out who's going to edge forward. If it's another draw, I'm not sure what's going to happen. But, you know, we expected passive play from the beginning here. We expected these guys to come in and, you know, not be the aggressive sides that they could be. They're being the passive teams. We even heard it in the interview with the captain of Virtus.pro saying, you know, we're not going to play aggressively until we see the opportunity to do so. And to be fair, they've played brilliantly. They have played quite aggressively. They have played, you know, sexy tanks. It's been a rare sight from these guys. They don't normally bring it out, but they're playing sexy tanks at the moment. They're actually, you know, really doing the job. So I'm not sure what this means overall for these guys, but they've certainly got a personal investment in this game.
They've got everything in this game. They've got 2 weeks of training in this game, 10 hours a day. That's one hell of an investment, if you ask me. and definitely one which should get rewarded with some good results. And so far, it looks like the way. If this does end up drawing, we move on to that tiebreaker map, as the scores will be leveled to 3-all. In this best of 5, it's 3-all to go to a tiebreaker. Best of 7 we'll be seeing later. If that does go to a tiebreaker, it has to be 4-all. Obviously, you can check the rules out on thegrandfinals.com, and also vote on your team, which one will go through to the winners bracket and go through to the finals. Indeed, the grand finals of the grand finals. Next map, Ensk.
Yeah, Ensk on the way now, so big moment for these two, a deciding factor here, actually. So Na'Vi up against Virtus.pro, and what a brilliant sight it's been so far. Wins on both sides, a draw coming out, but I can tell you right now, that was not a boring draw. That was an absolute moment to remember. And I really want to see what tank lineups these guys are going for. So, Virtus.pro up against Na'Vi. You can see the serious looks on their faces. It is go time. This is what it comes down to. And I don't think any of us truly expected Virtus.pro to be on level pegging with Na'Vi. In game style, in game plan, in individual skill, these guys are keeping up. So, guys, we are in the battle. Take us through what tanks we're seeing here.
Standard city map tanks. Neither of these two teams want to change anything up. 350-100, 2 I3s, 2 T1s, widely considered to be the best lineup on all maps, which really involve a lot of city play. So, you know, talking about Ensk and Himmelsdorf, Ruinberg, obviously you need an AMX 3090 in there for the middle spot, but Na'Vi on the charge.
They're going in. They're not waiting at all. This is unbelievable, ladies and gents. Power slide strike. Everyone is getting in Breakneck's face, and this could be real trouble. Strike is going in, but power slide's gone low, and Spire is nowhere to be found. They are completely alone and unguarded. Kilroy is coming around for the side. Breakneck has gone down, but power slide is low. 240 HP. Kusok's gone down. Na'Vi are doing this. Extreme aggression may be paying off. Finally, the reply comes in, but it might be too little too late. But Kirill completely stranded. Punished by Virtus.pro, who are on the counter push. Levshar, Inspirer, backing away. Delight comes through, looking for pain, looking for trouble, and he's looking to do it. Vorsi gets another. Levshar is low. Karit's around the back. They're looking to get this one final shot. Inspirer cannot save him, and here he goes. Striking Inspirer, the last two standing. Inspirer is being pounded left, right, and center. Strike is so low, he's gone down. Just one man standing. Inspirer, Na'Vi are in trouble. Na'Vi have got everything to do here. Inspire is left in a 1v3, and well, I'd love to see Eclipse do something, but he's only in a tier 1. He's surely going to be taken down here in a moment's time, but Inspire now coming round the back. 1v2. He's got reload. He's got the first shot. Just Cause will be reloaded in just a moment's time. He needs to get away. Delight should be reloaded faster than Inspirer, so Inspirer could be in trouble here. He's got a shot before Delight. He's going to be coming around the corner. Can he get the shot off? 1v2. Just Cause just gets picked up. Inspirer 1v1. If he can somehow just... No! Delight finds him! And Virtus.pro! They've done the damage. They've done the job. And they have sent Na'Vi to the lower brackets.
Na'Vi go down to those lowers, to the hands of Virtus.pro, the European champions of Season 2 and 3. Take it in spectacular fashion. 3-1. What a result for them. You can see how happy they are. They are such cool guys in front of those computers, but when they get that win, they're absolutely ecstatic. Virtus.pro take it. Na'Vi going with another all-in strategy, and it just simply did not work once again. Ruinberg did not work, and now Ensk going down, and honestly, fantastic reactionary play from Virtus.pro. Na'Vi getting a round of applause as the two teams shake their hands. Always the models of fair play, and always camaraderie between these Russian and CIS players.
And I think right now, Na'Vi, they've got a lot of thinking to do. They've got another long road coming into this, and let's bear in mind, if they do make it back into the grand big finals here, they'll be going in with a disadvantage to Virtus.pro. So this is the storyline everyone wanted. This is what we needed to see. And I think we need to look at this game again. We need to look through in our minds what happened, because Ensk was Virtus.pro's choice. So Na'Vi had the side pick, but I just don't know what we can say about this. Na'Vi just went incredibly aggressive. What happened?
They just went real old school on us. They just thought we'd go back to the 1970s and we'll just go old school all the way.
Just throw it back.
Yeah, just throw it all the way back there, see what happens. They did it on Ruinberg with that all-in push.
Yep.
They did it on Himmelsdorf. That is a push we've seen before. But Virtus.pro, they must have guessed that, because their positioning was perfect. A lot of teams have been heading over towards that green side with their tanks. If they'd done that, but Na'Vi would have just been in a perfect position to take them from behind and flank them around. So just perfect positional play from Virtus.pro, reactionary play.
Wow.
The absolute brilliant play from, you could see the end with the AMX51 just charging around Vorstick. Oh, he's such a young player, but he is such a good player. And knowing to push forwards and charge around and not just go for those easy shots is experience. And for a guy who's like 16, 17 years old, where does that experience come from?
Incredibly, incredibly impressive. So guys, I think we need to hear from the team themselves, who may have just dethroned the kings of World of Tanks, at least for now. Let's pass on down to the stage to hear from Virtus.pro and Mitch.
Ladies and gentlemen, Virtus.pro, the final hope of EU, have toppled, at least in that game, the Giants, Na'Vi. I don't think anyone expected the game to wind up in that kind of fashion. But Bishop, we saw Na'Vi on, especially on Himmelsdorf, but also Ruinberg, with really aggressive pushes. When you play against a team like Na'Vi, do you have to go about it differently as compared to the other teams? How do you respond to those kind of strategies?
You just have to be prepared and train a lot. That's it.
And did you guys have a good read on Na'Vi? Did you expect them to do what they did, or did you have to react quickly?
To be honest, we had to react very quickly because they played very aggressively.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, that last map, they were very aggressive, but you turned it right around with your own aggression. Thank you very much for joining me, Bishop, and congratulations. Now, Virtus.pro, moving on to the winners bracket final, I suppose. It's going to be an epic match for them. But let's head over to the analyst desk and hear their thoughts on that massive series.
Thank you, Uber. Congratulations to Virtus.pro. This is still anybody's game, and I was right about the blitz. I threw it out there, and it happened. Gentlemen, we're all excited to see what some say is the finals before the finals between these two teams. Na'Vi is not out yet. They're going to be down in the lower bracket. But let's talk about the first map, Mines. I appreciated what Virtus.pro tried to do with the water side, that west side, but those T-32s were way too strong for Na'Vi in that scenario. What happened?
Well, let's start with should focus how the game started. It was by the pick scene that Virtus will take the hill, and Na'Vi did really logical thing and just like T-32s on very defensive positions we spoke of yesterday at a cap. Virtus saw we can't do it, and they knew they will do it. So they immediately rotated the island, but you can see how these teams really good play. Na'Vi noticed it the same second and they started moving before they even left the hill. So you could see the teams like doing like they were watching each other's screens.
It was a turntable type of strategy.
Immediately.
The thing that I want to point, though, is, and you talked about this with the T-32, the positioning is not flat. It's angled to the side, and that allows even better hold-down
They really
position.
go like a spider. They hug the mountain, so only turret can be seen, and he can use the cooldown perfectly. Nothing can dig him down through there. Nothing. So he's there safe. Virtus knew there is no attack through there. It has to come from the other side, but they expected it, and it was planned action. You could see it. They were doing it as one. All team, 5100 going defensive, 4 tanks on the island. Now what happened there? You could see a first crack of a day in Na'Vi there. Killiroid, who was spotted there. Actually, while he saw them coming, he stood to do one shot. Now that was a bloody fatal mistake. He lost time on running away because he's light. They wouldn't even see him while he was leaving. He got spotted while doing it, and then they had a chance to shoot him a bit, and he got trapped. There are positions he could have hid, and they wouldn't be able to touch him, and the other guys would protect him, and he would be alive. Like this week, he was dead, but Na'Vi guys were positioned really well immediately, and they did a significant amount of damage to Virtus, and they paid a heavy price because of that, and they gave chance to Na'Vi to do a counter-attack. Now, it didn't go smooth either again, because Inspirer again makes a mistake and picks on the spot which he shouldn't do and dies. And the game goes again in some fluke, but Na'Vi was more skilled and better positioned, and even Power Slide couldn't sleep them out. I mean, he even missed like 2 shots because he knew death is spawning.
We saw the Object 416 again on this map, and we saw that reset happen for both teams about the 6:45 mark. And what is a common pattern in the North American region is about the 5-minute mark where teams will do that rotation. They'll move to another side of the map. The other team will read that as well with that sixth sense, that gamer sense, saying, okay, the rotation is happening on their end. Let's move to a better position to counter what we feel will be stage 2 for that map. This is also based on the knowledge and the experience both these teams have fighting each other. But as Bishop said from Virtus.pro, they were not prepared for this. They had to react very, very quickly. And we saw that reaction happen to great effect.
Yeah. yeah, it really worked out for them. And you see what the effect is if you train really hard and really a lot, especially against the team. You know how to handle these counter-attacks and the reaction. And yeah, every small little mistake, even from Navi, Virtus.pro, immediately used it in their favor. And yeah, they just perfectly played it.
Game 2, Ruinberg. What? that push, I mean...
Everyone expected Navi will now, they have South, they will camp.
Exactly.
Yep.
Maybe they tried something out of the box, like Virtus will think that, okay, let's do this cheesy, as Oli would say, stuff, and try to do the quick cap. But it backfired. They left a 30-90 in the field, Strike, their best solo player, and he was caught by Just Cause and Breakneck and shot down, while the other guys were keeping cap under control. And then you could see Breakneck come back and save the day in one blazing streak.
But it also nearly worked out. I mean, it was only 3 seconds left on the clock as the first reset happened. They had 2 T1s hiding behind the 39. I think it was a mistake. Maybe a 5100 in front of the T1s would be better instead of a 3090 because the 3090 is not high enough to shield.
No. It was 50s. 13 was proxy spotting the houses.
Yeah.
They put him there first. So they did everything by the book. It's just Virtus' reaction was perfect. Perfect. There was no hesitation. They immediately split forces. 50s were already on the... As soon as the first tank in city was spotted, 50s were already on a way back.
Yep.
They were on time on position. They shot time. They didn't waste shots. The guys in the field knew there will be something in their back. They took care of it and they came back on time. 3 seconds. Doesn't matter. 1, 0. Doesn't matter. They were on time. They had it under control.
And Breakneck coming around the corner with those shots was very, very crucial.
And
you have to time which one you're going to aim for, too, because those T1s, the position that we saw from those tanks, are in a pretty good hold-down position, even if the tanks are destroyed. But once he can cruise in there, he has to make the shot. He got it, got the reset, and that was how they were able to win it out. Now, we've seen many times, sometimes T1s dodging some shots. There was one event that we had for North America where a T69 missed and was trying to ram the T1. The T1 moved, and he still got the capture.
We had a situation when we played in Katowice in first tournament. One of our guys was alone against Tier 1 capping us, and he was in 50-100, 1 shot left. So he goes, and it was his first tournament, and this guy's just like, he gave up. He didn't even move Tier 1, and he misses him.
Wilkie, do you feel that the blind picks were a big factor in this series compared to other series that we've seen from these two teams?
Well, Navi is used to play with the blind picks in the WGL area finals. It was new thing for Virtus.pro, but I don't think it mattered. These teams have trained with each other so many times that they know how the other team will play.
Well, the HP value sharing was crucial. It always is crucial in any matchup that we see, but especially from Navi on Himmelsdorf. And that was the big difference we saw from the spread of the two teams on this map. But in the end, it came down to the one T1, that Bishop hiding in that appropriate spot. When do you make the call, gentlemen, when you're on a team and you realize we're not going to win the firefight, we've lost the brawl, to have your T1 escape to try to go for the draw?
Immediately after they started the heavy fight. They were in a position, Kishok was already down to 50%, so they had a disadvantage. They killed both T1s from Navi, so they had the advantage with the T1s. And they don't need them in the fight. Why you should use them into the fight?
We were talking about this too. Yeah. We had one of the T1s that was on the hill that could have pushed further. He waited for a bit, but the other T1 went up to the center, to that corner, was able to spot. There's no heavies there. The second T1 is able to cruise around, and within that position, you cut the map in half, honestly, and that's how they had him in the corner.
Exactly, and they don't want to risk a one-on-one with the T1. That's why he didn't move up from the hill. He waited for another T1 to spot him, and then he saw, okay, the T1 is moving back from the hill to the city, next to the I3, so the T1 can go forward, spot, and then he gets a spotting line, and the T1 from the middle area moved forward, get the spotting line, and then the T1 crossed over, spotted the T1 in the base, I3 in the base, and they totally map vision and control without risking any T1.
And they had Navi set up in that corner, but it didn't work, what they were trying to pull.
Yeah, actually this was pretty normal Navi play. They tried to do the initial push against Q-Shock with the IS-3.
I would say that was planned.
Yeah,
because the one tank was out of position, usual for Navi.
At the start, they were prepared to do the shot to the Q-Shot. They dropped him down to 600, 660, something like that. And after that, they smelt blood like sharks, and they tried to win it, but they got spotted in the lane 2, and at the same time, they lost their T1. And at that time, like a normal Navi play, they pulled back. They said, okay, we lost T1, we don't have the edge, scouting edge. Okay, it's your turn to try something. We are going to back out.
Turtle mode,
which is beautiful is to see the teams. They're so fluent. You can see they're going, okay, it's not working, they're back. But the other team immediately is like this.
Yeah, there's no delay.
There is no delay. There is not. always something happened. Like Koritz, immediately as that happened, he checked 8 line, he saw eclipses there. They have volunteer one there. He went on the field, he checked streets one by one, pop. Okay guys, it's free, let's go. They came unspotted to Navi. They knew where they were. This is standard Navi tactics.
It really was beautiful when we saw that on the map, that they're not spotted. And then finally one of the tier 8s was spotted, but they're all in that center area next to Navi. But Delight's positioning, we're thinking, okay, he's down the 1 line. He can get some of those cross shots on the flank. He got completely locked down because of where Power Slide was. They knew that could be a weak spot.
They
and because of that,
explore their tactics to detail, and they do not leave such defensive flanks open. No. We knew from Russian finals, Red Rush Unity killed 1 tank of Navi by Navi's mistake. They turtled before in that corner. Out of that fight, when Red Rush Unity attacked, 3 of Navi guys came alive. Red Rush Unity was decimated.
Exactly.
And even in that fight, in this match, Navi shared the HP perfectly. They didn't lose a single tier 8 tank in that battle.
Yeah, like always, the focus from Navi. Yeah. But it's a similar situation we had before, also with Lemming Train against Synergy. 4 tanks in this corner, 5 tanks attacking, and 2 tanks or 3 tanks surviving, beating 5 tanks. It's really a superior position, and you can't really go it. I mean, Virtus.pro tried it as well, first with the cap. They go with 2 T1s into the cap while they were attacking, but Lechar in size 3 now, okay, I have to kill 1 T1 to give the cap pressure a gun. 45 seconds are not enough, but 1 minute and 30, it's more than enough to kill the heavies and go back to the T1. And exactly after the first T1 was dead, the second T1 Bishop noticed, okay, cap is useless, I will go back and save my team the draw, if possible.
But you could see also the reaction from Navi. Yeah. They had good communication. Okay, we are low on HP, but we can do this with 4 tanks. We can finish off their heavy tanks with 4. And Killiroid, who was on full HP and could have helped them, immediately ran away and was started to chase Bishop around the map. You could see it going like he knew on the radar where he was. But Bishop did a really good hiding spot. We have that situation when one of our matches where one of our mates, Haiba, was like running away from some tanks and ended up by accident there and survived. That is the hardest spot, I think, on Himmel to find a tank and kill him on time, because you have to go through some bumps and really hard terrain. Yeah. And he really pulled it out through. I thought that was a lost game for sure, but no, he's experienced enough.
Let's move on to the final map, Ensk. Mirror matchup, so tank picks doesn't really matter. 3 5100s, 2 IS3s, standard loadout for all of these teams on a city map. Some variants we'll see sometimes 3 IS3s versus the 2 5100s. Navi goes aggressive again, and I'm actually kind of concerned that Navi is never going to go aggressive ever in their lives after this, because it didn't work for them. What did Virtus.pro do so correctly in those fleeting moments, those matter of seconds that they had when they saw that Navi was pushing up towards them?
I think the most important part, the crucial part, is if you attack like Navi do, you have to kill the 2 IS3s at the D line, I think. They have to die immediately. If they're shooting 2 times, or both of them 2 times, you lose too many hit points and you get flanked and cornered from every side. So they did a really good job, especially the left one. I think it was Kushok to hide and really wait for the 5100s to help him. And that was a crucial point, that they delay the fight as long as possible, don't die immediately to the 4 tanks from Navi pushing in.
Yeah, and have a backup plan when it goes wrong.
And I'd say there is also one more thing there. In previous patches, the wall from the side to that road, you first had to shoot it, and then you can damage the tank. But now you don't need, you just shoot. So when they went for those 2 IS3s to shoot them off, they were like on open field for guys from Virtus. Also, Virtus had 3 5100s, so 100% health. So every health Navi lost in such a push was paid hard. Those IS3s took time to die, and then those 3 5100s straight push, and they're killing low HP targets. Yeah. The game was really close, and man, I was shaking like this. I wanted to play.
You wrote a book on all the notes that you were taking.
This is awesome. This is the highest level of game.
Exactly.
This is really good to watch.
Perfect World of Tanks.
Yeah. And we're only getting started for day 1, gentlemen.
And it's not over.
It's not over yet. It's not over yet. And we're going to have PvP versus Red Rush Unity in just a little bit. But a lot of people have been sending in their expertise over Twitter and Facebook. Melly, has it exploded? Have we broke the internet?
Pretty much, yes. You guys should have been in Twitch chat as it went into the last brawl. It was just, I couldn't follow it. And I have some training on following fast-paced chats, but I couldn't read a single sentence. People were exploding. And my Twitter feed is still buzzing. It's most Russian, so I can't read it, but it's like every 2 seconds there is a new tweet about what just happened, and it was amazing. And that what I got is pretty much your thoughts as well. So it was just, I don't know if we're gonna witness something like that again. I mean, hopefully.
I think we will. I think there's plenty more surprises and a lot of entertaining matches for the grand finals for World of Tanks. Plus, we got Batman coming up, gentlemen. Batman. Everybody loves Batman and Robin and the rest of the PvP Super Friends. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from day 2.
Они выезжают 2 в 2 в центре карты, на котором получают прострел от Т-32. Вот теперь Т-32 очень многое решил. Теперь главный фокус. Кирилл смотрит не на тот танк. Блэк побегает. И они разделились, китайцы разделились. Тут получают Блэк дважды пробитие. Подтянулись остальные силы Фнатиков.
Вот, все, зарядились, парни, идите сюда. Начинается Нагатрон, гуслить нужно. Кунту не отпустить. Тут же Блэк Кроус, Черный Ворон. Куда ты пришел?
Кирилл выезжает, забирает дальний танк. Отличный минус, отличный минус. И у Блэка здесь шансов нету как таковых. Это 3-0.
Now just going to he's still staying alive. Can he do anything here? He doesn't get the shot off. This is unbelievable. 3v1 Materius could go down and he's done. He's done for. Arete are turning this game around.
Ну что ж, интрига в матче.
Подожди, еще вот он правее, дружище.
Вот все смотрели вчера матч, проверили этот угол.
Да.
Ну что,
12. Не успевает. Не успевают. Першинг.
Он заряжен или нет?
В засвете кто? В засвете Першинг, да? 3 секунды. Вот он подъезжает. Не успел.
Well, let's see if he can do anything here. He's going head first. Togi holds in place. Nice work coming out from Arete there. But look at the clock. 10 seconds to 14. This is so close. Resets coming in left, right, and center. 10 seconds left. Niels Pizzorni now wants his chances. He's going to come through. Find Sod. Take Sod down. That's another reset. 4 seconds left. Lemming Train seconds away from the victory here. 1 second. Lemming Train have done it. They're moving forward once again.
Понеслась. Давай, Махач нам наконец-то.
Ринов в засвете. 2 промаха по Рину. Повезло ему, получает Рину урон.
Но он успел
уехал дальше. Ну там Эл, куда он влетел в центр карты, и это отдача Элла. Минус 13-90 в начале игры. Зачем он полез сейчас? Эл
очень сильно подставился, но и в принципе можно говорить 1-0, если сейчас не произойдет взрыва ПК. Забрали
Карман следующий уходит. Ну, посыпались.
It's gonna be very tough for him. Oh, he misses it. Rhino misses a ram on the Butcher, but Nuclear takes the shot.
There it is. So it's down to Snip and Potomako. This is their absolute last chance. Antelich, though, will reload first, and there it is.
В наглу лезет, но тут же подъезжает Джек, начинается драка. Джек пугает Бэтмена, Бэтмен в засвете подтягивается, Фрикшн подтягивается, Нагатрон, тут же
начинает уже получать, здесь 69-й может хорошо отработать, прикрыть Бэтмена, но Бэтмен, по-моему, уже в фокусе, по нему пытаются отработать, посмотрите, какой размен снарядами прошел.
Джеку нужно быстрее выезжать, постоянно фокусить Бэтмена, нужно сейчас Бэтмена добрать, у Бэтмена мало хп.
Он двушотный буквально, но он идет на атаку.
Нагатрон получает, вся команда Фнатик начала получать очень много урона, забирают Джека моментально, вот он зря вылез. Контратака удалась.
Нагатрон ваншотный, можно забирать, можно делать счет 2-1, но больше утесов нету, извините меня. Вот таких бы нам побольше. Картеек. Ой-ой-ой, что делать с Персиком? 69-ка сейчас заберет. Ломают. Ой, как повезло. 66 хп, да все равно добили. Еще,
Бэтмен еще поиграет.
Почему не говорят, я доберу?
Еще поиграет.
To the way this map plays out. So
wait a minute. One guy is getting focused down. 214, he's down. That was amazing focus fire from Fnatic. But Friction's getting some return fire as PvP Super Friends are on the offensive. They got to get Friction down. He's down on one more hit. Batman gets the kill and takes him down. And Hugo Maximus now in a lot of trouble as well as PvP Super Friends come in full speed. But there is another tank on one more hit and he's down. But that's another kill for PvP Super Friends. So it's now down 2 tanks against just 1. Fnatic are in a lot of trouble. It's 3. Max HP take. I say Max, but Nagatron takes a hit, and now he's in trouble. As Hydrex still got 3 shells left. 2 shells. 1 more. He will not be able to get the kill unless he puts him on fire.
And Jackie's just about reloaded.
Jackie's reloaded, but he has to get out of there. But wait, Batman again. He gets the kill. He goes for the ram. No, he decides instead to shoot and turn. He misses the shot. Jackie's reloaded, but Batman's at max HP and able to get out of there.
Посмотрите на Бэтмена, что происходит. Он командует своими ребятами. После сейчас взорвется все.
Нагатрон едет сбивать базу.
Да, его
17 секунд. 16. Нагатрон идет просто сбивать захват базы.
Сейчас может сделать
Мостик,
минус.
Просвет. Нагатрон. Промах.
Промах в ответ.
Убивают Нагатрона. Он не сбивает захват базы. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Филиппинцы выигрывают Фнатик. Они выбивают их. Они их выбили. Бэтмен смог. Что творят филиппинцы сегодня?